Welcome. Today we'll be looking at the Georgia Guidestones. Before we get into it, I want to add an anxiety warning. There will be mentions of natural disasters, various cataclysmic events, secret societies, and deaths. If you need to click away, I totally understand. The Guidestones are in the North American state of Georgia. They sit at 750 feet above sea level, 9 miles from the town of Elberton in a very rural area. Before we start the journey down what turned out to be a very twisted road, I'll describe the physical data for the stones. Overall height is 19 feet 3 inches. The total weight is 237,746 pounds. The 4 major stones and the center stone are 16 feet 4 inches high. The capstone is 9 feet 8 inches long, 6 feet 6 inches wide, and 1 foot 7 inches thick. These stones are set on a base that is designed to survive any disasters. There are astrological components as well. The 4 outer stones are oriented based on the sun's yearly movement. The center column has a hole that allows you to look through it and see the North Star every night, and a slot that lines up with the rising sun on solstices and equinoxes. The capstone has a hole that lets the sun shine directly through it at noon all year. On the 4 outer stones, there is an inscription on both sides of the stones saying the same thing in 8 different languages, which are Arabic, Chinese, English, Hebrew, Hindi, Russian, Spanish, and Swahili. Engraved on the capstone is the phrase, "Let these be guidestones to an age of reason," in 4 languages: Egyptian hieroglyphics, Babylonian cuneiform, Sanskrit, and Classical Greek. I find it odd that the languages on the capstone are completely different from the ones on the guidelines. I will list them now and go into each later. Number 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Number 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. Number 4. Rule passions, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Number 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Number 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Number 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Number 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. Number 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And number 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. In June of 1979, a man calling himself R.C. Christian went to the Elberton Granite Finishing Company with blueprints for the Guidestones. The head of the company, Joe Fenley, assumed Christian was, and I quote, "a nut," and tried to discourage him with an expensive quote, which Christian agreed to. Finley said that the blueprints were so complicated that he had to ask an astronomer from the University of Georgia to help him with the design. When arranging payment, Christian said he was the representative of a small group of people that had been planning the Guidestones for 20 years and who wished to remain anonymous. Only 2 people actually met with Christian: Joe Fenley and Wyatt C. Martin, who was the banker handling the finances for the project. Martin is the only person that knows the true name of R.C. Christian. He has said, "They could put a gun to my head and kill me. I will never reveal his real name." Also, Martin took all of the correspondence regarding the guide stones to a lake, burned them, and then tossed the ashes into the water. Martin said that according to Christian, if you want to keep people interested, you can let them know only so much. And this is where we have to go off the path for a bit. Naturally, there are quite a few theories about who Christian really is, or was. The main speculation is that he belongs to an order called the Rosicrucians. The Rosicrucians date back to 1614. There have been many powerful men in this order, such as George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci, Napoleon, and even Walt Disney. There are now 3 branches of the Rosicrucians: esoteric, which are Christians, Masonic, and the initiatory groups such as the Golden Dawn. Here is an example of why this theory actually makes sense. Rosicrucians are also known as the Order of the Rose Cross, and some are Christians. Rosicrucians, Red Cross plus Christians equals R.C. Christian. With that being said, is R.C. Christian a member of this group? If so, what do they know that the general public doesn't? The guidestones were built to survive almost any event. The 10 guidelines are said to be there to help a world to get back in order. Famous names have been connected to the stones, such as Ted Turner and Bill Gates. Gates said in a 2015 TED Talk that, and I quote, "If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus." He is also thought to be a eugenicist like his father, which is a whole other subject. Now, back to the guidestones. They were finally complete and shown to the public March 22, 1980. People either love them or hate them. Van Smith, one of the guidestones theorists, says they're for establishing the beginning of a totalitarian government. Alex Jones, a radio host, says that they call for a culling of humans. Many groups says the stones are satanic and or unholy and should be torn down. On the other hand, Damian Gender, head of the Dixie Patriot Fighters, says that the group used to be against them but now see them as a prophecy being fulfilled by American-loving patriots. Betsy Gibbons, who represents the people of Elberry County, said, "We can't allow these socialists to take our way of life from us God-fearing Americans. The stones should be protected." As to why the stones were built to withstand any cataclysm, that depends on who you ask. To start with, we have global warming and the thought that parts of the U.S. will be underwater. Just how much differs from group to group. Then we of course have nuclear war. Then the theory that with global warming, an excess of chemicals in the air, and fracking, we will see an increase in natural disasters. As you can see on this chart, natural disasters have increased just a bit. Deaths from COVID are definitely high, but nowhere near enough to get the population down to 500 million. That would require the population to be cut by 80%. Many think the guidestones are part of the governments of the world to start a new world order. In a book by the same name, the author A. Ralph Epperson has the following to say: "Children will be raised by the state. Everyone will work for the state. No private ownership will be allowed, and the new religion will be of man and his mind, along with quite a bit else." Those that have read the Christian Bible will tell you that a one world order is prophesied primarily in the book of Revelations. It is said that one man will rule the world, put in place by Satan himself, and that this man will be followed and worshipped all over the world, and he will have authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. I want to wrap this video up by going over the guidelines written on the stones one by one. Maintain humanity under 500 million people to be in perpetual balance with nature. Again, some think this is a call to exterminate humans. Others think that there will just be less people following some apocalyptic event. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. There is the thought that this refers to abortion or the culling of people with any kind of disability. Others think it means the government will say who can and cannot have children. Unite humanity with a living new language. Again, quite a few people aren't on board with this. Taking away a person's native language is taking away part of their identity. Also, in the Christian Bible, it says that God made different languages to help in the building of the Tower of Babel. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. This, too, many people think it means that everyone should be ruled by the head and not the heart, and that one shouldn't be truly passionate about anything. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Protect people from what? And who is deciding what is fair and just? Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Again, this points to a one-world government. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. At first, this one doesn't sound nefarious. However, who will be deciding what's petty and who's useless? Balance personal rights with social duties. To some, this sounds like helping the less fortunate. Others think it sounds like communism. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Whose truth do we prize? Our own? The government's? Beauty? Everyone has their own definition of beauty. Love? Love should be wonderful, but exactly what kind of love are they indicating? Harmony with the infinite? The infinite what? Your God or someone else's? Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. This one either means to stop polluting and destroying the earth, or be useful to society, or be cold. What are your thoughts? Please comment down below, subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Thank you for watching.